Ladies and gentlemen, greatness is never found in the crowd. Purpose is never discovered in the comfort of company. Destiny is a road that often demands solitude before it delivers success. The truth is, if you want to make a mark, if you want to fulfill your assignment, you must learn to walk alone and walk strong. Today, I want to share with you three key principles that will transform the way you see yourself and your journey. Eagles never fly in flocks. They do not move in groups like pigeons or gather in crowds like sparrows. The eagle was designed to soar at altitudes where no other birds can survive. It was created to rise above the storm, to navigate the winds that others fear, and to see what others cannot see. The higher it flies, the lonelier it becomes. But in that solitude, it finds its strength. Life is no different. If you are going to rise to the level of your potential, you must understand that separation is not a punishment, it is a process. The path to greatness is a lonely road, not because you choose to be alone, but because destiny demands it. There are seasons in life where you will have to disconnect from familiarity, detach from mediocrity, and distance yourself from distractions. Not everyone can go where you are going, not everyone can handle what you carry, and not everyone is meant to walk your journey with you. Look at history. Every person who made an impact had to go through a season of separation. Joseph had to be taken away from his brothers before he could save them. Moses had to leave the palace before he could deliver his people. David had to be isolated in the wilderness before he could sit on the throne. Even Jesus had to withdraw from the crowds to prepare for his assignment. Why? Because separation precedes elevation. When you are in a season of separation, it will feel uncomfortable. People will misunderstand you. Some will think you have changed. Others will say you are acting different, and they are right. You are changing, you are evolving, you are becoming what you were always meant to be. What they don't understand is that you are not leaving them behind. You are being called higher. And if they are unwilling to grow, if they are unwilling to stretch, if they are unwilling to sacrifice, then they cannot accompany you to your next level. The problem with many people is that they want elevation, but they are afraid of separation. They want to rise, but they do not want to leave anything behind. But you cannot take old habits into new seasons. You cannot carry dead weight into your destiny. You cannot hold on to people, places, and mindsets that no longer serve your future. Sometimes the very thing that is keeping you from rising is what you refuse to let go of. A rocket expends most of its energy during liftoff because gravity resists anything that tries to leave the ground. The higher it goes, the more it has to release. At each stage, it must let go of something in order to rise further. If it refuses to detach from unnecessary weight, it will never reach its destination. The same principle applies to life. The higher you go, the more you will have to release. There are relationships that were necessary for your past but will hinder your future. There are places that once felt comfortable but will now limit your growth. There are conversations, habits, and mindsets that once seemed normal but will now feel suffocating. Separation is not rejection. It is not abandonment. It is refinement. It is elevation. The caterpillar must separate from the world it knew before it can become a butterfly. The seed must be buried in isolation before it can grow into a tree. Diamonds are formed under pressure and gold is refined in fire. Your next level will cost you something. Your destiny will demand a price. And that price is separation. Do not fear being alone. Do not resist the process. Do not hold on to what is meant to be released. Because the moment you embrace separation, you position yourself for elevation. The world moves by consensus, but history is shaped by conviction. Consensus is the voice of the majority. Conviction is the whisper of destiny. Consensus follows the trends of men. Conviction follows the call of purpose. Consensus asks, what do people think? Conviction asks, what is right? If you are waiting for the approval of others before you act, you are not ready for destiny. If you are seeking agreement before you move, you are not prepared for purpose. Because every great leader, every pioneer, and every world changer had to stand alone on the foundation of conviction before the world recognized their value. Conviction does not need a crowd. Conviction does not require validation. Conviction is the internal fire that burns even when no one else believes. It is the thing that drives you when others walk away. It is what makes you press forward when the road is uncertain. A man or woman of conviction is unstoppable because their strength does not come from the opinions of people, but from the assurance of their purpose. Throughout history, the greatest movements, the most powerful revolutions, and the most impactful changes were not started by the majority. They were ignited by one person who had the courage to stand alone. Noah built an ark when it had never rained. He looked like a fool to those around him, but conviction told him to keep building. Abraham left his homeland with no clear destination. Consensus told him to stay, but conviction told him to go. Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the church door when religious systems opposed him. Consensus called him a rebel, but conviction called him a reformer. The problem with many people today is that they want conviction, but they also want consensus. They want to be different, but they don't want to stand out. They want to lead, but they are afraid of rejection. They want to pioneer, but they are uncomfortable with criticism. But you cannot be effective if you are addicted to approval. You cannot change the world if you are constantly seeking permission from those who are comfortable in mediocrity. The most dangerous thing you can do in life is compromise your conviction for the comfort of consensus. Consensus will always push you to fit in. It will tell you to lower your standards, to silence your voice, to shrink your vision so that others feel comfortable. But conviction will demand that you stand firm, even if you stand alone. Conviction will require that you say no to what is popular so you can say yes to what is purposeful. Conviction will call you to walk paths that no one else dares to tread. A lion does not ask the sheep for permission to roar. A king does not seek approval before ruling. A leader does not wait for a committee to validate his purpose. If you know what you are called to do, if you know the vision that has been placed in your heart, then stop looking for consensus and start walking in conviction. Because the truth is, people will always doubt what they do not understand. They will criticize what they cannot comprehend. They will resist what challenges their comfort. But conviction is not built for comfort. It is built for courage. A ship is safest in the harbor, but that is not what it was built for. A seed is most secure in the ground, but it was designed to break through the soil. You were not created to stay hidden, silent, or small. The very fact that your conviction is being tested means that your purpose is significant. Every great calling will be challenged. Every bold vision will be questioned. Every person who has ever made a difference had to endure opposition before they saw victory. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is simple. Endurance, no strength without struggle, no victory without perseverance. The world celebrates success, but it often ignores the suffering that produced it. It admires the crown, but forgets the weight of the cross. It sees the glory, but overlooks the grind. But those who have truly walked the path of greatness know that every triumph is birthed through trials. Every breakthrough is the result of a battle, and every promotion is preceded by pain. Endurance is the ability to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. It is the strength to push forward when the journey gets tough, when the road gets long, and when the obstacles seem insurmountable. It is the refusal to give up when the weight of the process feels unbearable. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stagnant is not talent, intelligence, or opportunity. It is endurance. It is the ability to suffer well, to persevere under pressure, and to remain steadfast when the storms of life rage. Gold is not gold until it endures the fire. Diamonds do not shine until they withstand the pressure. Strong trees do not develop deep roots unless they endure strong winds. The greatest things in life are never given freely. They are forged through endurance. Those who avoid the process never develop the power. Those who quit when it gets hard never experience the reward. Because power is not given to the faint-hearted. It is entrusted to those who have proven they can carry it.